Oh, okay. Yay. I so need to foam roll today, so I am glad to be doing this. And I hope you guys are all ready because we're going to talk about the hip flexors. I don't think I've delved in too much about the hip flexors yet, so we're going to talk about that and then go into different ways to roll it and what I think is the best, most effective way to roll it. So first of all, the different things you can use. If you have your roller, I'm going to show you first how you foam roll your hip flexor on this. It's doable, but in my opinion, it's not the best way to hit it. The best way to hit your hip flexor is with a ball. So this is the orb. It's the same density, consistency as the foam roller. It works great, super lightweight, and very effective. But my favorite for rolling the hip flexor is a medicine ball. So this is just a hard, this is a 4-pound, and any hard medicine ball would work. I prefer the 4-pound because it's like the right height off the floor. It's the most comfortable to kind of keep my body in alignment while rolling the hip. So I prefer the 4-pound, but if you have a 6 or even an 8, it's all gonna work. So grab whatever foam rolling tool you have, and we're gonna talk about hip flexor. So the hip flexors love to take over, right? Right there in the crease of that hip. They help lift your leg. They help with forward flexion. When you're cycling, when you're running, when you're playing with kids, those hip flexors love to take over. Now, part of where the hip flexor attaches is along the lower vertebrae of your spine, which is why if your hip flexor is too tight here, you can feel it in your back. So if we can release it from the front, it might help take pressure off of your back. So I'm going to roll the two off to the side and show you first how to hit the hip flexor on your foam roller. So you're going to get right at the edge. The fastest way to hit it is right at the edge. And you're going to take that hip flexor, actually I'm going to roll my other hip first so you can see better, right into the crease of your hip. So the edge of the roller at the crease of your hip, and you'll know you have it because it's going to kind of feel like you have a knife or an ice pick right there at the front of that hip. And that's when you know you want to hold and just breathe into it. So I'm actually going to slide this over. It's going to be easier for me to demo. There we go. Okay, so I have that tucked right in at the hip. There's a couple things on the roller that you can do. The first thing you can do is bend your knee. Now if you move your leg in, that foot in, or out, see out right there, that hits it on me. That finds that spot right up there in the crease of my hip to help let the roller do the work and apply that pressure to release it. So if you have your roller, stay on your roller and keep rolling, okay? I'm gonna switch to my favorite, the medicine ball. And let's see if I can shed a few tears tonight with this one. So again, I'm gonna tuck that right up in my hip, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. If I, right there, bend my knee just a little, and then I rotate it out, I hit it just perfectly. Wow. And again, trying to relax. So we're gonna just breathe, find that sore spot, and let's just breathe. And this one can feel really, really hot. When it's tight, it can be super intense. So actually starting on a roller might be a better idea, or even the orb before you progress to a medicine ball, because there's zero give with the medicine ball, which is why I like it, because it's so effective, so fast. But wow, that hurts a lot. Lifting weights, deadlifts, squats, they can all work your hip flexors. If you do CrossFit, a lot of those gymnastics moves, stuff like that, they work hip flexors. And again, just walking works your hip flexors. So if we can get that to release from the front, it should help take pressure off and just retrain it to open and stretch. So I'm bending my knee more because it's starting to loosen so that I can go deeper. Oh man. And then just keep breathing with me. And this way. All right, I gotta switch sides. Whew, that did not take long. But we're gonna do this a few times on each side. And that way, as you go back and forth between them, you're gonna really start to feel how that myofascial release works, how quickly it works when you switch legs. So if you're ready, switch sides, if you haven't already. And then again, tuck that roller, the ball, whatever it is, right into the crease of your hip. And then try to relax onto it. I'm also, again, gonna bend my knee because it helps me get just that right spot. Oh, that external rotation. Whoo, yowza. Anybody else need their hip flexors stretched on a daily basis? Right here. Man. Oh, right there. So the hip flexor is called your Iliopsoas. That's the technical term for it. And it loves to do the work. And it'll help take over with quads, with abs, like I said, your back even. Oh my gosh, this hurts so bad. Oh man. Okay, so my right side is much worse than my left, so I'm actually gonna stop. I'm gonna switch sides again. But see, that's what's cool about foam rolling, is you can do that as many times as you need to. Switch back and forth. So even if you can only hold one side for like 30 seconds, go back and forth. Do that 4 or 5 times. If that other side, you were right on the spot, stay there. You don't have to switch. So just keep, there we go, bend my knee. Ah, yes. So good. Get that hip flexor. So again, if you're on your roller, just get the edge of the roller right up into the crease of the hip. Now, this is good on this side. The front of the hip's already starting to release so much better. So I'm actually moving more lateral. So I'm shifting more to the side. And there's lots of sore spots in here. There's not a spot that I don't feel. And welcome to the hip. There's always something in the hip. There's so much, I'm gonna swing this way. There's so much connected through the pelvis, through the hips, that it's not hard to find something every single time you foam roll. But the key is just doing it and holding when it hurts to get that to release. Oh, yow. But again, I like to go right for the firmest tool, so the medicine ball in my case, to help release it faster. It's gonna hurt more right up front, but worth it in the end. Okay, I'm gonna switch sides again. So if you're good on that side, stay there. You do not have to switch. We're just gonna do this a few times. As things start to loosen up and things start to open, we're gonna be able to move around more and play around more with the hip. So even on a roller, you can still roll more to the side. You can do everything I'm doing on the ball on your foam roller. Oh, and if you don't have a medicine ball, I'd highly recommend getting one. It's all those, I can get right there, and all those little spots that are hard to reach on the roller around your hip. The ball is great for that. So again, I'm able to go a little bit more lateral because the hip flexor is already starting to loosen up on me. So I'm just moving around, shifting around until I find a new spot. And again, just looking for anything that's sore, anything that's tight. Wow. Give that hip some love today. Okay, we're gonna switch again. So again, back to that first side. Starting at the front of the hip, tuck the roller, tuck the ball, tuck your orb, whatever you have, right into the crease of the hip. You wanna tuck it in there and then just try to relax. And again, if it helps to bend the knee and then move that foot back and forth, that will change how you stretch in that hip. Yeah, there it is. So there's back to the hip flexor for me. Whew. gosh. Much needed. There we go. The other thing you can feel too is you'll feel where those quads start to attach up in the front of the hip. You'll feel that as well, and it's good to hit that. If that's what's most sore, work on those quads a little bit. That's fantastic. I always say there's not really a wrong way to foam roll. If it's bruising you, maybe ease off. If something's going numb or tingly, stop. That means we're pinching a nerve. Just kind of move around until you find where you're sore and then hold on it. Where you're sore is going to be different than where I'm sore. And I'm just here to walk you through different ways to find it, different ways to help that imbalance. But releasing the hip flexor can help with so many things in our body. Right there. See, now I'm going even a little bit lower, more into my quads as it loosens up. And if you're still on that first spot that you found at the hip flexor and it's not wanting to go, just stay there. Just keep breathing. Wow. Okay, I'm going to switch again, back to the other side. This will be 3 times, back and forth. Again, up on that medicine ball, your foam roller. Oh, yeah. Low hip flexor. And again, I don't know if you can tell, but I bent that knee again, and I'm just rotating my foot in and out, internal, external rotation. And it's that external rotation that really gets it in my hip flexor. I'm trying to find again where I hit it on the other side, more towards my quads. Oh, yeah. And then again, up more lateral. It's headed in the direction of my IT band, but it's not my IT band. Okay, and while we're here, the next one we're going to hit is the inner thigh. So again, with your foam roller, pull mine back in here, you're going to be on your stomach with the roller parallel to your body. And then from here, you bring your knee up. Once your knee is up, try to relax the upper body down. And then from there, we straighten the leg out. Now, if you rotate your toes to the floor or the heel to the floor, that changes what you stretch. And you're just going to shift your whole body along the floor, just rolling to get the roller from the knee all the way up to the hip. But again, I'm going to switch to my harder ball today and really bring on some pain. I don't even have to do anything except just sit here. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. So again, the difference in the density between the foam roller and the medicine ball, it's like night and day. Like the foam roller felt good. I'm like, yes, I can roll this all the way up to my hip. And then I bring in something harder, more dense, and it's kind of shocking how much more that hurts. So yeah, I'm just gonna stay right here. So if whatever you're rolling along the inner thigh, you can take it all the way up to the hip, keep going, keep rolling. I'm not gonna move until this one starts to release. And it's not very happy. Foam rolling is not glamorous, but it's so effective. Oh my gosh. Especially when you want to cry. I didn't bring my tissues. Oh, yikes. Okay, so I have to switch sides because that is super intense. So again, if you're on your roller, put it parallel to your body again and just bring the knee up. Once your knee is up, then try to straighten your leg. And that is how we hit the adductors. Man. Keep breathing with me. Oh my goodness. It really is more fun to foam roll with friends. There are some of you I miss foam rolling with. I can't wait till we get to roll again. But in the meantime, it's better than nothing because it's super helpful with the alignment, the body alignment, body mechanics, all of that. And again, if you can keep rolling all the way up to your hip, keep going. Don't wait for me. I'm just gonna sit right here. And you're breathing. Remember to breathe. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Yep, this is good. This is going to take a few times rolling to get all the way up into my hip. But it's clearly what I need. It is not wanting to go. Okay, so coming up out of that, I'm going to give that a rest for a minute because that is really sore, and we're going to hit the calves. So again, if you're with your roller, you're going to put the roller underneath your knees, turn sideways, and you're rolling from your ankles, from your knees to your ankles, or your ankles to your knees. Either way, you could do both, but you just want to go the whole length of your calves. If you lift your butt off the floor, that can make it more intense. Today I don't have to. I can just cross one leg over, and the pressure of that leg is enough to tell me that it's really sore. So I'm just going to keep it right there and breathe into that. I can feel I have one specific part of the muscle right down the middle that's like a rope, and I keep rolling over it on the roller. So trying to stick it at the top as I push, it can be tricky. And you can do this on the ball. I'll show you. But again, way more intense, and I definitely don't need the weight of my other leg on the ball, but really effective. So again, either way, with the foam roller or your ball, really good. Oh, so now I'm rolling a little bit more towards the inner part of my leg, more medial to the midline. And that's really sore on the ball here. Yep. Find those hot spots, hold on them. Keep breathing. Okay, I'm going to switch legs, and I'm going to switch this way too so you can see it better. So again, if you have your roller, that's great. I'm going to stick with my ball because I know that it is definitely going to work. And hopefully, if you're sore on one side, it's the same soreness on the other side. That's ultimately what we want, is the equal soreness, and that means that both sides of your body are working evenly. If you have a huge muscle imbalance, let's say you hurt one knee, so while that heals, this side takes over, so this calf is so much more tight than that one. We want to work on lengthening that out and working that one that was injured. Again, a lot of PT, a lot of stretches, but trying to bring that balance back into your body. So if you do have one side, one leg, one calf that's significantly tighter than the other, maybe spend a few more minutes on that, just stretching it out, foam rolling that one a little bit longer to try to get those knots and that tension out. Because we do want to have as much balance as we can in our body. But we all have dominant and non-dominant arms and legs and sides of the body, so it's easier said than done. But it's okay to spend a few more minutes on that tighter side. There it is. And again, rolling your calves like this, it's great for your feet. It can help take pressure off your knees because all of those muscles come up and attach. So if you're having knee pain, tight calves could be a culprit. I'm not saying it is, but it could be. Foam rolling the calves and the soleus, the Achilles, helps with plantar fasciitis. So again, always good to keep stretching through there. And again, you can externally rotate, so I hit the outside of my leg, or turn it in, internally rotate to hit that medial side of your leg. Ow, right there. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, now one more time, just because I want you to feel the difference from the first time you roll that hip flexor to now. We're going to go back to the hip flexor so that you can see how fast foam rolling can work, how effective it can be. So the first time you rolled that hip flexor, try to find that same spot. Was it super hot? Was it like, oh my gosh, I can't do this? Just like you have a knife in your hip. I can't feel it. So I'm rolling around, I'm trying to find that spot, and that's a good thing. You want it to lengthen, you want it to know it's okay, and hopefully you're able to go deeper. So this time it's a new spot that's deeper in the leg. So I'm actually lower onto my quad now. That's where it hurts because my hip flexor right up there in the crease of that hip, even if I shift to the side, it doesn't hurt like it did that first time. So yes. Thank you for foam rolling with me today. Okay, so let's switch sides. We're going to see how it feels on the other side. Take that ball right up into the crease of the hip, and let's see what we can find. Okay, there we go. See, this was my tighter side, definitely. As I roll more lateral, I feel it. But it's still so much better. So not the front, not right up in that hip flexor. Nope, there's a good spot, down by my quads. So again, if you know when you're doing both sides that one side's tighter, I'm gonna stay here for a minute. Stay on that tighter side, keep breathing, keep working through it, and just give that side a little more TLC and see if you can't bring a little bit of balance back into that. So good. Okay, so again, what we talked about in the beginning, the hip flexor loves to do the work, and it attaches, part of it attaches at your spine, the lower back. So any pressure we can take off of here might help low back pain. It could be one factor. So give it a shot, keep foam rolling, keep doing these at home. Tell people about them, share with them, and thank you for foam rolling with me. I needed it more than I knew I needed it. And until next time, keep up the rolling. We'll see ya.